First off, shout out to Hope Hotline for making that response video. I appreciate you. That shit gave me life, so it really got me activated, and I want to make this long response video. It's not going to be under 2 minutes, so if you ain't trying to watch that, just scroll on, but this ain't for everybody. First, I want to say you're absolutely right about separation being an illusion, but this is where the paradox come in. Deep down, I know hierarchies don't exist. You're no better or less than anybody. Spirit wise, soul wise, we all come from the same place. But while we're on this plane, while we playing this game, there's some rules and there are hierarchies and there's different levels, and we must acknowledge that. Even though we know the real truth, but at the same time, you're living in two different worlds, especially if you are aware of the unseen. So you gotta have both of them in perspective. You can't really be a black and white thing. You can't really choose. You must take them all into mind and find that right balance. But from that video, I'm mainly talking about from the ego perspective. Like, as we are here walking in this matrix, there's certain ways you gotta move within this game, even though you know the real truth. And in all actuality, you don't have to move that way. It's actually what works for you. And about the dropping gems thing, I wasn't like trying to downplay myself. Like, naturally, because I walk in my truth and I love who I am, naturally, if I'm about what I'm about, it's gonna leak out in my energy. It's gonna leak out in my words and what I say. And even people in person, like off camera, like people be saying I be dropping gems, and then I just be talking regular. So it's gonna happen regardless. But what I really mean by that, I'm not gonna be overly invested and get bent out of shape on trying to get somebody to understand something if they're not ready to fully grasp that concept or idea, which may be a lot of spiritual concepts that I'm aware of, and not many people are willing to grasp that or want to even hear it in the first place. So that's when I have to kind of hold back in order to protect myself and my own energy and my own information. Because when I first got on this journey, I got caught up in the savior complex. You feel me? All this stuff I knew was, all the stuff that I was learning was confirmation, so some of it was already applied, but there was many more information that I was just overly excited about, and I wanted everybody to like get it while I was getting it, and they weren't ready for it. And I would constantly distract myself trying to save people, save people. And I haven't really saved myself yet. I haven't fully, let that information sink. I haven't really sat on it, hadn't let it, you know, get immersed in it and let it, take root and for me to apply it and have a greater understanding of it. So I can, then relate to other people. So I take my time with this stuff. It's no rush. And me saying swine, it's just a label. Just like how we have a lot of labels on this plane for many different things. It's just a label. Sometimes you have to apply that separation, that known separation is illusion. We know that. But at the same time, we are experiencing separation. We have egos, and we have to walk in that ego at a certain degree. While we're here, we need our ego. So although I'm addressing them as swine, it's not to talk down on them, to say like they're lesser beings. That's just a saying that's grabbed from the book, you feel me? That's just a saying that's commonly known that people are familiar with, so I use that. But it's not mainly to degrade them or nothing like that, because I'm aware that everybody has that seed within them that can sprout at any moment of them realizing their divine consciousness. But it's not to put them down or to like, single them out, cast them out. It's just simply to say that some people aren't ready for that information. And you would know just on reading their body language, and are they even receptive to what you have to say? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all people, y'all get in that mode and y'all could realize it's always somebody listening. When you're actually speaking some real shit, there's always somebody listening. But majority of the time, you're going to see majority of people in the room, they're going to tune out. They're going to tune out. they're not listening. You're actually talking to a brick wall. Therefore, you're wasting your time and your energy and your breath. You're wasting this information on somebody who's not ready to receive it. They don't care enough to listen and let that seed sink. But that's not to say, because there's those type of people out there, that's not to say to stop doing what you're doing. If you genuinely love to share information and talk about it, whatever information you would like to talk about, do that. If your heart is really calling you to do that. But mainly I was talking personally for me, that I like to keep it balanced. I'm not gonna go too deep into things if people are not willing to go deep with me. They're not really receptive. They're not really asking for more. If that person is, closed off, or I'm gonna throw a little out there, just enough to have a seed, make them wonder on whatever level they on. And if they come back around and want some more, then I'll, offer some more. But if not, I let that person be what they be, and I'm not gonna keep showing up on their door like Jehovah Witness, trying to, you know, get them to understand something. They're not ready yet. You feel me? When the student is ready, the teacher appears, and I don't have to always be that teacher. I'm just saying, but because I naturally love what I'm into, sometimes I might have to be called to that role in certain moments in my life. I may be a guide, to somewhere else, for that person. I may say something that sparks something in their mind, and then that leads them to the next person who's going to really take that time. We got different roles to play. Although we're all one, we still have different roles. We have different puzzles to the puzzle picture. You feel me? But yeah, that's not like, the love is still there. I love to share this information. I love to talk about what I talk about. It's just, based on what I've learned from my experiences of coming into this stuff, I noticed that there's better ways to carry myself, which works for me, but it may not work for you, and it doesn't have to. There's no right or wrong. It's just about what works best for you, and just stay true to yourself. But yeah, one more time, shout out to you, Hope Hotline, excuse me. Shout out to you, though. I really appreciate the support, and I appreciate that video, because it did give me energy, and I like that. That's the type of people you want to be around, where you could feed off each other's energies and, raise that frequency, help, strengthen each other's minds, because y'all want to go deeper, y'all want to evolve. So I appreciate that. And it's a long video, you feel me? Sorry for the long video, but I had a lot of thoughts to get out.